Please keep your movie ticket. Ticket required for entry, seating, and exit. Please strictly follow all movie theater rules. A notice was posted at the theater's ticket checkpoint. Keep your ticket stub. Seriously, don't lose your stub. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. Find your correct seat. Please enter before the movie starts and sit in your assigned seat. If you accidentally sit in someone else's seat, please don't move. When they ask you to get up, check their seat number first. Once confirmed, give them their seat and return to your correct one. If someone is in your seat, politely ask them to move. If the movie playing is not the one you purchased a ticket for, please leave the theater immediately. Security guards patrol the hallways. Guards wear blue uniforms, not black ones. If you have any other problems, you can find a security guard. They will try to help you with anything. Enjoy the show. This strange notice was posted in the most conspicuous spot. We'd been to this movie theater downstairs from our office a few times before, but we'd never seen anything like it. A few colleagues were a bit surprised, but no one thought much of it. Our boss was in a good mood today and let us off an hour early, so our department decided to go see the movie Homeward Bound together. We bought tickets for Theater 2, at the very end of the hallway. When we walked into the auditorium, there were only a handful of people, you could count them on two hands. But just as the movie was about to start, a whole crowd of people rushed in. It filled up almost instantly. I felt a strange sense of panic and nudged Jenny, who I was closest to at work. When you booked the tickets, how sold out was it? Hardly anyone had bought tickets. The five of us got pretty much the best seats, Jenny said. Normally, for a 6 p.m. movie, there wouldn't be many people arriving after 5:30. This movie's about to leave theaters, the attendance shouldn't be this high. Jenny found it strange too, but neither of us could figure out why. Until the movie started. The moment the opening credits rolled, I knew it wasn't the movie we'd come to see. I turned and looked back. Only a few people had surprised expressions, whispering to each other. Most of the others were staring straight at the screen, not even blinking. The light from the screen on their faces made them look numb and vacant. If the movie playing is not the one you purchased a ticket for, please leave the theater immediately. I remembered the notice at the ticket checkpoint. I grabbed Jenny. Let's get out of here first. I wanted to get the others to leave with us, but one of our male colleagues wasn't keen. What's the difference? I think this movie looks better, Mark said, not wanting to leave. He was a grown man, we couldn't exactly drag him out. Jessica saw Jenny and me leaving and got up too. Her boyfriend, Kevin, naturally followed. A few other people trickled out, and we all stood together at the theater entrance. Some people were furious. What the hell is this theater doing? They can't even play the right movie. Can we get a refund? I don't want to watch this anymore. About a dozen people were all chattering at once. I was a bit annoyed too, but since we were already here, I still planned on watching something. Just then, footsteps approached from around the corner of the hallway. Everyone instantly fell silent. Thump, thump, thump. The carpet muffled most of the sound. A uniformed security guard walked over. Security guards patrol the hallways. Someone immediately walked up to the guard, ticket in hand. They're playing the wrong movie in here. The guard didn't seem surprised. One moment, please. He picked up his walkie-talkie. Projection room, Theater 2 is playing the wrong movie. Please check, okay. He put down the walkie-talkie and looked at the crowd. The movie has been corrected. Please return to the auditorium to continue watching. Ignoring everyone else's reactions, I pulled Jenny back into Theater 2. The moment I stepped inside, I froze. There were only a handful of people inside. I saw the same shock and disbelief on Jenny's face. What's going on? Someone behind us voiced the same question. Just moments ago, more than half the people had stayed inside. Did some of them just vanish into thin air? Where's Mark? I looked at Mark's seat. It was empty. The hairs on my arms stood on end. He had definitely stayed inside just now. Let's try calling him. We all agreed. Then, each of us tried calling Mark's phone, but it went straight to no service every time. Jessica, pale-faced, leaned against Kevin. Jenny gripped my arm so tightly it hurt. Everyone else looked terrified. We all scrambled to find our seats and sit down. But among these people, I noticed a few unfamiliar faces. These individuals weren't part of the dozen or so people who had walked out of Theater 2 with us the first time. It was as if they had appeared out of nowhere. Before the movie started, subtitles appeared on the screen again. The theater does not sell concessions like soda or popcorn. If a vendor appears, do not buy anything. After the movie, cleaning staff will enter. Please keep your personal belongings secure. Even after the movie is over, do not discard your ticket stub. If you need to use the restroom during the movie, tear off your ticket stub and leave it on your seat. There are no ushers in the hallways. If you encounter one, move away immediately. If you get lost in the hallway, find a patrolling security guard for help. The theater has a midnight show. It will be cleared at 2 a.m. Please exit in an orderly manner at that time. This time, the notices sparked widespread discontent. What is this theater playing at? First the wrong movie, now all this spooky stuff. I'm not here for a horror film. Yeah, it's totally ruined my mood. I'm not watching. 2 people left immediately. Others were hesitant. Should we still watch? Jenny asked me. I couldn't decide, but Jessica wanted to, and Kevin naturally went along with her. So, we decided to see how it went. 3 minutes later, those 2 people returned, their faces filled with terror. There's no exit. The hallway is a closed loop, we can't get out. Someone thought it was a prank. What are you talking about? Of course, there's an exit. We just go out the way we came in. This theater isn't that big. How could you get lost? Go see for yourself if you don't believe us. A few more people went out, one after another, but they all came back. Their expressions were all the same, utter disbelief. Clearly, none of them had found an exit. Most of the others turned pale, but a few remained perfectly calm. One of them seemed to notice me looking, turned their head, and even smiled at me. I found the smile incredibly creepy. I quickly looked away. Everyone now understood that those so-called notices were definitely not just a joke. Just then, a girl in the front row suddenly stood up. I just threw my ticket in the trash can in the hallway. Then, her face deathly pale, she rushed out of the theater to find her ticket. I instinctively wanted to call out to her, but it was too late. I immediately checked with Jenny, Jessica, and Kevin. All 4 of our tickets were still accounted for. The movie finally started. Just as the opening credits finished, someone entered the auditorium. I thought it was the girl who had gone out to find her ticket, but it wasn't. A man in his 30s walked straight to the girl's seat and sat down. The boy next to him was her boyfriend. Hey man, I think you're in the wrong seat. The man turned his head. Nope, this is my seat. How is that possible? I bought these tickets for me and my girlfriend. The 2 of them started arguing. The man pulled out a ticket and his phone with the purchase confirmation. The boy was so shocked he couldn't speak. He immediately tried calling his girlfriend, but the call wouldn't go through. Just like with Mark. He was about to go look for her, but the moment he stood up, I pushed him back down into his seat from behind. Don't do anything rash. Let's figure out what's going on first. The boy looked like he was about to cry. But my girlfriend, she hasn't come back. I knew he was worried, but the situation was just too bizarre. Wait a little longer. The boy hesitated, then nodded. To distract myself from the fear, I tried to focus on the movie. But before long, Jenny said she needed to use the restroom. My gut told me it was dangerous to wander around right now, but I couldn't just let her hold it. I hesitated for a long time. I'll go with you. We both remembered the rule and tore off our ticket stubs, placing them on our seats. After leaving the theater, we didn't go straight to the restroom. Instead, we followed the illuminated signs towards the exit. Just as those two people had said, there was no way out. The hallway felt like a Mobius strip. We were sure we were walking along the side with theaters 2, 4, and 6, but we ended up on the side with theaters 1, 3, and 5. I was panicking inside, but I tried to reassure Jenny. Maybe it's like one of those things where you just walk in circles. Let's go to the restroom first. Before we even got close to the restroom, we heard a scream from inside. I instinctively rushed forward, but Jenny grabbed me. Look at this. A notice was posted at the restroom entrance. Please keep the restroom clean. Do not speak to the cleaning staff. If they offer you paper towels or other items, politely refuse. If you hear the sound of running water from inside before entering, leave immediately. And right then, the sound of rushing water was coming from inside. My face changed. I grabbed Jenny. Let's go. As I turned, I felt something was wrong. When we came this way just now, were theaters 1, 3, 5 on our left, or 2, 4, 6? 1, 3, 5, I think. Jenny shook her head. No, maybe it was 2, 4, 6. I don't know anymore. I knew I couldn't panic. If I did, this girl, 2 years younger than me, would definitely fall apart. We couldn't really say we were going back the way we came. Back at the entrance to Theater 2, I pushed the door open, and the scene inside shocked me again. It was crowded with people, including Mark. Jenny immediately looked at me. Sarah, what on earth is happening? We were supposed to follow the rule and leave immediately. But we had to get Mark out. I stood at the doorway and called Mark on my phone. This time, it went through. What's up, Sarah? Mark, get out of this theater right now. Why? Because this place is not normal. Do you even know what movie you're watching right now? Wanderer's Home. What's wrong with that? Wanderer's Home doesn't come out for another 3 days. Mark paused. So they put on the wrong one. We get to see it early, isn't that cool? This definitely wasn't just a mistake. Some people in the back rows seemed to hear us and turned around. Ah! Jenny screamed. Those people had no faces. We were both petrified. A chill ran up from our feet. I quickly snapped out of it and dragged Jenny out of the theater. Back in the hallway, I closed my eyes and tried to recall the layout of the seating area. Wherever there was someone seated for Homeward Bound, those seats were empty for Wanderer's Home. Or rather, it was like we had left the theater playing the wrong movie and returned to the correct one. I wanted to call for a security guard like last time. But after walking around in 2 circles, I didn't see anyone. Instead, a staff member in a black vest appeared in the hallway. Are you 2 lost? Which theater are you looking for? Theater 2. I quickly covered Jenny's mouth. There are no ushers in the hallways. If you encounter one, move away immediately. I pulled Jenny and turned to leave. She remembered the rule too and clutched her chest in fear. This place was full of hidden traps. We passed by the restroom entrance again. This time, there was no sound of running water from inside. I finally remembered that Jenny needed to use the restroom. So, we went in together. Someone wearing a mask and a red vest was mopping the floor inside. Incense was burning in the restroom, mixed with a strange, sweet, metallic smell. The floor, walls, and sinks were spotless, gleaming. But under one of the sinks, I found a braided bracelet. It clearly belonged to a girl. After washing my hands, a paper towel was suddenly offered to me from the side. I instinctively reached for it, then immediately stopped. I turned my head and saw it was the cleaning person. The eyes visible above her mask were smiling, looking very friendly. But I was clear-headed. I managed a weak smile and just wiped my hands on my clothes. The hallway was empty and silent. For early autumn, the temperature shouldn't be this low. Cold. We couldn't stay in the hallway. Hoping for the best, I pushed open the door to Theater 2 again. The scene inside made both Jenny and me breathe a sigh of relief. The screen was playing Homeward Bound. I saw Jessica and Kevin were inside. Jenny and I returned to our seats. Jessica asked, "What took you guys so long?" The restroom was a bit crowded, we had to wait in line. I didn't tell her what had just happened, afraid she'd panic. But when my gaze shifted downwards to what she was holding, I froze. "What are you holding?" Jessica looked down. "Soda and popcorn. We should have eaten before coming to the movies. I'm starving." Jessica took a sip of her soda through the straw. I saw a thick liquid congealing at the corner of her mouth. "Want some popcorn?" She offered me the bucket. I saw small pieces of raw meat inside, and on one mangled piece of tissue, there was a fingernail. "No thanks. I'm not hungry." My throat felt tight. I shook my head and quickly put on my 3D glasses, looking at the screen. The crunching sound of Jessica eating popcorn was crisp and clear. Someone was pushing a concession cart down the aisle, asking people as they went, "Any snacks needed?" No one responded. Clearly, everyone remembered the rule. The theater does not sell concessions like soda or popcorn. If a vendor appears, do not buy anything. With about half an hour left, I got a call from Mark. "Are you all back?" I stared at the big screen. "We're still in Theater 2. "What?" "I just came out of Theater 2, everyone was gone." "How many Theater 2s does this cinema have?" I didn't know how to explain it to him. "Find a security guard in the hallway and ask him to take you to Theater 2, I said and hung up. 2 minutes later, someone came in. I turned around. It was Mark. He sat down next to me, glanced at the screen, and his face turned a bit pale. "I found a guard to take me to Theater 2. He just turned around and pushed open the same door I had just come out of, and when I went back in, I saw you guys." I wasn't surprised at all. "Did anything strange happen to you in that other theater?" Mark shook his head. "Oh, right after you guys left, 2 staff members came in. They said someone had snuck in without a ticket and dragged 4 people out. Those 4 insisted they had tickets but just couldn't find them." I instinctively glanced behind me. Was it row 9, seats 10 and 11, and row 12, seats 9 and 10? I think so, yeah. Those people, like Mark, hadn't left the fake Theater 2 in time. Their seats were taken, and their tickets were taken too. But Mark. The theater lights suddenly came on, even though the movie wasn't over. 2 staff members in red vests walked in. "We're doing a spot check for tickets, to make sure no one snuck in." They also added a special reminder. Tickets can be given as gifts, but not taken by force. They said it was a spot check, but they walked straight towards Mark. Did they know Mark didn't have a ticket? When we entered, I had all 5 tickets checked together, then gave them out to Jenny, Jessica, and Kevin. When I tried to give Mark his ticket, he didn't take it, saying it was useless and could be thrown away. So, his ticket was still with me. I had 2 tickets in my hand. The moment those 2 approached, I stuffed the other ticket from my bag into Mark's hand. The 2 staff members immediately stopped. Just as I breathed a sigh of relief, they turned to Jessica. "Ma'am, could you please show us your ticket?" Jessica's face instantly changed. I immediately realized something was wrong. "Where's your ticket?" Jessica looked like she was about to cry. "Just now, they said you could trade your ticket for free soda and popcorn." At that moment, I just wanted to wring her neck. She always acted like such a princess. Would it kill her to be hungry for a bit? The two staff members immediately showed a strange smile. "No ticket? Then we'll have to ask you to come with us to verify." Remember, the girl who went out to find her ticket never came back, and her seat and ticket were taken by someone else. "Wait!" Kevin suddenly spoke up. He gave his ticket to Jessica. He turned to the two staff members and said, "I don't have a ticket. I'll go with you." The two exchanged a look and took Kevin away. Kevin wasn't like Jessica. He was always the brains of our department. He must have figured something out. So now, the 4 tickets we had were, Mark, row 8 seat 7 me, row 8 seat 8 Jenny, row 8 seat 9 and Jessica, sitting in row 8 seat 10, holding Kevin's ticket for row 8 seat 11. If you accidentally sit in someone else's seat, please don't move. When they ask you to get up, check their seat number first. Once confirmed, give them their seat and return to your correct one. Jessica couldn't move now unless someone with a ticket for row 8 seat 10 asked her to. I looked around, but I could no longer remember everyone's faces or their seating order. The person holding the ticket for row 8 seat 10 could sit in any empty seat. I warned Mark, "Hold on to your ticket. Don't lose it, no matter what." Every second felt like an eternity. I had absolutely no interest in what was happening in the movie anymore. Finally, the movie ended, and the cleaning staff in red vests came in. Jessica casually tossed her soda cup and popcorn bucket towards them. The cleaner didn't move, holding a trash can. "You can throw your ticket stubs in here too." Mark almost threw his ticket away without thinking. I immediately stopped him. "Didn't I tell you? Until we leave this theater, hold on to your ticket." Perhaps my tone was too harsh. Mark didn't look pleased. He silently put his hand back in his pocket and didn't look at me. The cleaner shot me a glare and moved on to the next person. "You can throw your ticket stubs in here." I watched as someone threw their ticket into the trash can. A satisfied smile immediately appeared on the cleaner's face, and they turned and left the theater. Coming out of theater 2, we faced the same problem again. There was no way out of this hallway. No matter which way we went, we ended up back where we started. Some people were cursing and crying, others were expressionless and indifferent. Someone walked to the other side and tried to open the door to Theater 1. It failed. Theaters 3, 4, and 5 were no different. It was as if only Theater 2 was open in this entire cinema. The atmosphere instantly tensed. Thump, thump, thump. The security guard appeared again. He asked, "The movie is about to start. Why aren't you all going in?" Half the people were bewildered. "We've already finished watching." "The problem is, how do we get out of here now?" The guard scanned everyone. "The movie is about to start. Please return to the theater." Suddenly, someone screamed, "Everyone, look at your tickets." I immediately pulled out my ticket. Homeward Bound, Theater 2, 8:40 p.m. showtime. We had clearly bought tickets for the 6 p.m. show. The movie tickets had changed. I looked again at the other group of people. They remained completely unfazed, as if they already knew this would happen. I tentatively asked the guard, "If we watch this show, can we leave afterwards?" The guard only repeated one sentence, "Please return to the theater as soon as possible." Everyone returned to Theater 2 and sat in their assigned seats. Jessica sat in Kevin's original seat, leaving row 8 seat 10 empty. Then, a few more young people trickled in. Their faces were full of astonishment, muttering the same question, "What's going on here?" They seemed to be going through what we had already experienced. I had enough on my own plate. I was under no obligation to explain this bizarre situation to them. The movie started, and the same rule notices appeared on the screen. I read them carefully again, committing each rule to memory. After a short while, the sound of wheels rolling was heard. The vendor had arrived. Soda, popcorn, anyone? That voice. I looked up. It was Kevin. He was wearing a red vest, now a vendor. What happened? Jessica called out to him, but he didn't respond. He continued selling, but he skipped our row entirely and went to the back. A moment later, a loud bang was heard, followed by a scream. Kevin was fiercely grabbing a man, punched him in the face, and gritted his teeth. "This is all your fault." I didn't understand what was happening. But Jessica's eyes widened in astonishment. "That man. What about him?" "That's the person who sold me the soda and popcorn," Jessica said. I was shocked. Kevin grabbed the man by the collar. "Give the ticket back." The man spat blood on the ground, pulled a ticket from his hoodie pocket, and looked smug. "The ticket's right here. Go on, take it. Tickets can be given as gifts, but not taken by force." It was no use. Even knowing he had stolen the ticket, Kevin couldn't get it back. In the end, Kevin had to let the man go. He hadn't sold a single soda or popcorn. He pushed his cart and left. The movie continued. Since we couldn't leave for now, I figured, what the hell, and tried to focus on the movie. About halfway through, Jenny suddenly nudged me. "Sarah, I'm scared." "Scared of what?" "I don't know, I'm just scared." "Can I switch seats with you?" Even though Jessica was on her right, there was still an empty seat between them. If she sat between me and Mark, she might feel better. So, I agreed. The moment I sat down in her seat, I felt a jolt. I turned and stared straight at Jenny. "Since we switched seats, let's switch tickets too." Jenny avoided my gaze. "And no need, right? It's the same whoever holds it. It's too much trouble to switch back and forth." But what if it wasn't in her hand? "Let me see your ticket, Jenny." I said her name sharply. Under pressure, Jenny had to take out her movie ticket. "Row 8, seat 8. It was my ticket. I couldn't find my ticket in my bag anymore." "Where's your ticket?" Jenny kept her head down, not daring to look at me, her voice choked with tears. "I don't know. I just suddenly realized my ticket was gone. Maybe I dropped it in the hallway earlier." So she had used my friendship with her to trick me into switching seats. This didn't seem like the young girl I knew anymore. Now I had no ticket, and I didn't know what would happen. I figured Kevin probably knew more than I did by now. I wanted to find him. I stood up and said deliberately loudly, "I'm going to the restroom." Then I made a fake motion of putting something down. In the hallway, I walked around in several circles before finally finding a security guard. But it wasn't the one I had met before. If you have any other problems, you can find a security guard. They will try to help you with anything. I asked cautiously, "What happens if you accidentally lose your ticket?" He immediately stared at me intently. "Did you lose your ticket? Where did you lose it?" I swallowed hard. Suddenly, I remembered something. I shone my phone's flashlight on him. Black uniform, not blue. "No, I was just asking." I turned and hurried away, but I could feel his intense gaze burning into my back. As I rounded a corner, I suddenly bumped into someone. I looked up and stumbled back in panic. "Are you okay?" he asked. Blue uniform. The security guard. It was the one from before. I glanced back, no one was following me. I quickly got up and grabbed the guard. "What do I do?" "I lost my movie ticket." The guard's expression changed slightly. "Come with me." He led me on, and suddenly there was a new door next to the restroom. He took out a key and led me inside. Now, I need to tell you some other rules. A stack of white shirts and red vests was folded on a cabinet. Several notices were posted on the cabinet door. Cleaner work rules. Empty all hallway trash cans promptly and collect any movie ticket stubs. After the movie ends, enter immediately to clean up trash and collect movie ticket stubs. Clean the restrooms promptly. If red liquid is found in the restroom, do not panic. Turn on the faucets and clean it up as quickly as possible. You may offer sanitary products to guests, but you must inform them that they need to exchange a movie ticket for them. Destroy any excess ticket stubs. Vendor work guidelines. Snacks are free. Customers only need a movie ticket stub to claim them. If merchandise runs out, inform a security guard, and they will have it restocked. Destroy any excess ticket stubs. Ticket inspector work guidelines. Determine if customers have snuck in without tickets. If fare evaders are found, escort them out of the theater and hand them over to security for processing. There will be a reward. If you make a mistake in judgment, you will be reported by the customer and punished. The movie ticket is the only pass. Without a movie ticket, you will remain here forever. I chose to become a cleaner. Clean all hallway trash cans and collect movie ticket stubs. All the trash cans were clean, completely empty. Someone came out of the theater pushing a concession cart. It wasn't Kevin the vendor, was someone new again. He found a security guard and exchanged a few words. Then, a strange sound came from the restroom. I went in. The floor was covered in red. I turned on the faucets and mopped the floor clean. Back in the staff room, the shelves were fully stocked with merchandise again. I sat inside resting, waiting for the movie to end so I could go clean up the trash and collect tickets. Nothing. I started to get anxious. My time was running out. As I passed by Jenny, I told her, "Ticket for paper towels." What? She didn't hear me clearly. I didn't repeat it. As I was leaving, I found the boy from the front row. "Have you seen this bracelet?" The boy immediately said, "That's my girlfriend's." "How do you have it?" The strange sounds from the restroom, the red liquid on the floor. "I found it in the hallway outside." I gave him the bracelet and told him to keep it safe. I was mopping the restroom floor. Jenny walked in. I was wearing a mask. She didn't recognize me. I offered her a paper towel. She took it. Turning away, I pulled a movie ticket from my pocket. Theater 2, 11:30 p.m., homeward bound. I took off the red vest and threw it in the trash can. A security guard was patrolling the hallway. "The movie is about to begin. Please return to the theater to watch." I returned to Theater 2 and sat in the very last row, in the corner. The theater has a midnight show. It will be cleared at 2 a.m. Please exit in an orderly manner at that time. So, this was the last show. Everything would be resolved soon. A new batch of people walked in, looking astonished. Some went out to the restroom, some came in selling snacks. From my corner, I observed it all, counting the passing time. Every second was agonizing, yet tinged with a faint excitement. Another round of ticket inspections began. I saw Kevin again. He had gone from being a vendor to a ticket inspector. His face was deathly still, like someone resigned to their fate. I knew he didn't have a target. I was curious about what the so-called rewards and punishments for ticket inspectors actually were. The notice hadn't specified them clearly. When Kevin passed by me, I stuck out my foot and tripped him slightly. He looked at me blankly. "Jenny doesn't have a ticket," I whispered to him. Surprise flickered across his face. I quietly looked away. Kevin walked up to Jenny. "Please show me your movie ticket." Jenny confidently said she had a ticket, but after rummaging through all her pockets, she couldn't find it. She started to cry. "I really do have a ticket. I don't know how I lost it." Kevin, we came in together, you know I bought a ticket. Their so-called collegial relationship was useless at this moment. She was escorted out of the theater and then came back in, wearing a red vest. Soda or popcorn, anyone? I went to the restroom. Someone offered me a paper towel. I politely shook my head and refused. The person pulled down their mask. Sarah, was it you who took my ticket? I flicked the water from my hands and looked at Jenny. That, Sarah, doesn't mean much now. But that ticket was mine to begin with. Good luck to you. At 1:45 a.m., the movie ended. Jenny, wearing the red vest, came in to clean up the trash. Please throw your ticket stubs into the trash can. She looked eagerly at everyone, but no one dared to throw away the ticket in their hand. That thin piece of paper was like a protective talisman no one dared to let go. As soon as we stepped out of Theater 2, a security guard was standing in the hallway. The lights in the hallway seemed much brighter than before. The guard pointed towards the exit. The theater is about to be cleared. Please leave as quickly as possible. Jenny, nervous, huddled together with everyone and stepped into the elevator. The elevator went down, straight to the first floor. Had we really left the movie theater? It felt somewhat unreal. Coming out of the mall, a gust of cold wind hit me, and I shivered involuntarily. Cars were lined up on the road, as if there was a traffic jam up ahead. The surrounding shops were still open, a long line snaked outside a popular restaurant. This didn't look like a street at 2 a.m. at all. I took out my phone and looked, 8:36 p.m. The movie started at 6 p.m., and it was about 2 hours and 20 minutes long. I turned my head. Where's Jenny? She had just come down with us. Jessica looked at me strangely. She got caught stealing your proposal, remember? She resigned last week. My eyelid twitched. Then who bought the tickets today? I did. Jessica showed me the purchase confirmation. Row 8 seat 7, row 8 seat 8, row 8 seat 10, row 8 seat 11. She had always wanted to set me up with Mark, so she deliberately left an empty seat between us when booking. Then what about Kevin? The manager called him and asked him to go back to work overtime. He left halfway through, remember? Jessica touched my forehead. Did the movie scramble your brains? Pretty much. I was a bit scrambled. I then saw the boy from the front row standing by the roadside, hailing a cab. I called out to him, "Hey, where's your girlfriend?" "What girlfriend?" He looked at me like I was crazy. "Who are you? Do I know you?" I shook my head. "Sorry, my mistake. I thought you were someone else." The moment the car door closed, I saw a familiar braided bracelet on his wrist. "I'm starving. Let's go get something to eat first," Jessica suggested, and we went to that popular spot across the street for dinner. She called Kevin, and he had just finished work, so he came over to eat with us. I looked at them. Everyone seemed perfectly normal. 3 days later, Wanderer's Home was released. On its opening day, it was the top-grossing film. I looked it up online. It had an average score of 8.7, which could be considered high. But some online reviews were drastically different. The only thing worth looking at was the two leads' faces. No logic at all. Watched the whole thing and still don't know what it was about. Wasted over 2 hours of my life. There were hardly any people in the theater, more than half the seats were empty. Don't go, you'll regret it. There were also industry insiders analyzing that Wanderer's Home had inflated its ticket sales, seriously faking its box office numbers, which was extremely unfair to other films released at the same time. All sorts of opinions were out there. That night, I worked overtime at the company and left at 8. I got off the elevator on the 6th floor and walked into the movie theater. I bought a ticket for Wanderer's Home. When I bought it, there really weren't many tickets left. only a few seats in the back corners. I picked one at random. There were no warning notices at the ticket checkpoint. I went straight into theater 2. There weren't many people inside. I sat in row 8, seat 8. The movie started. It was Wanderer's Home. I went to the restroom. The hallway lights were bright. There were some footprints on the restroom floor, and a paper towel dispenser was on the wall for self-service. Back in the theater, I sat through the whole 2-hour movie. It was indeed quite dull. As I was leaving, I thought I saw someone sitting in the seat next to me. A familiar face. It was Jenny. But in the blink of an eye, she was gone. Walking out of the theater, I opened an app on my phone and gave the movie 1 star. I threw the movie ticket into a trash can on the street.